It's Worldview Wednesday.
We finish each other's.
Sandwiches.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm trying to think of the
Never
rest of
met
the song.
someone who thinks so much like me. Jinx, jinx again. Our mental synchronization can have but one explanation. Hi, welcome to Worldview Wednesday. Lauren, what question are we asking today?
Did Jesus exist, and if so, who was he? Do you think that Jesus existed?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Well, there's a lot of evidence. I also do think it takes faith to believe in him. You have to have that basis, but you have to have faith for a lot of things. So
I honestly don't know. I go back and forth myself.
Okay.
There's a lot of interpretations of the Bible, and it's kind of hard to know because some people say seeing is believing, and other people say, just read the Bible and it speaks for itself. But it's as an English major, it's been rewritten so many times, and there's so many different versions that how can the perception not change over time? So it really just comes down to people's opinions and how they perceive the world. And I feel with a lot of people stop believing when they go through a rough time and they can't feel they reach out and he's not there, or that kind of thing. So I really don't know.
Who is Jesus?
He's our Lord and Savior, Son of God. He's our salvation, and I don't want to get too deep, but yeah.
I think that he made everything that we walk on and that we're around. I think that we're here for a reason, and he made us. So
Okay.
we're pretty religious.
Yeah.
We're all Christians.
Sweet.
Existed? I believe he probably did exist.
Yeah?
I'm no archaeologist, so I don't really know, or a paleontologist, so I don't really know anything about the history, but based on the common beliefs, I believe he did exist. I don't personally believe in a lot of the mythology, the magic behind it, but I do believe he probably did exist and has some very good things to say.
Cool. Why do you think that he existed?
Most of it's common belief, and it does kind of check out with how the Judaism did evolve into Christianity.
Yeah.
So I can believe it, and they all make sense besides the magic part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's historical evidence for it?
I haven't looked into it personally, but I've heard that there is, so kind of just go with it.
Did Jesus exist?
Ooh. Yes. I really don't have much else. I'm not a very religious person, so I don't really have any other specifications other than I think he did exist. And I really don't have much else to say other than that. I don't really think there's any other facts other than just believing that it happened.
So our question for today is, did Jesus exist?
I think so, yeah.
So who is he, or who was he to you?
That's a good question. Well, he's my savior, and that's yeah.
Do you think that there's historical evidence that he existed?
I think people have found some. I haven't looked into it, but I think so.
Probably. I think there's some evidence that he might have been a composite character as we know him today, but there was probably something like that.
Yeah. Do you mind going into that a little bit? Going into that evidence?
Not really a biblical historian. Didn't realize this was going to be a religious interview. So I think I'm going to go ahead and not take part in this anymore. But
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you think that Jesus existed?
I do think at one point he did exist.
Why?
I believe that his status as a historical figure just needs to be. It probably is reinforced by the fact that it's just so much of his belief system and legacy is lived on, and thus and we have I believe there's some historical documents at the time. Certainly the Bible is a historical document in itself. I think there's also historical evidence, but I'm not sure. I need to be more versed on the topic.
Who do you think that Jesus was?
I think again there's still probably some truth to the Bible in the fact that he was a Jew at the time, in the time period in the Middle East. as to like whether like like whether what your religion view religion worldview is as to whether like Lord and Savior or anything, but that's up to your religious viewpoint. But I do believe that he did exist and was someone who lived in the Middle East.
Who do you think that Jesus was?
Well, he was a savior that came down and he died for all of us so that we could be saved.
Like, who do you think that Jesus was?
Apparently he was a carpenter.
Yeah.
Apparently he caused a lot of trouble in the Judaism, and he was just someone trying to help people out, I assume.
I would just say a good man. Other than
Do you believe that Jesus existed?
Yes,
Why?
because there's evidence, maybe.
Yeah.
The Bible.
Yeah. Who do you think that Jesus was?
Our Savior, because he died for us.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you believe that he was who he claimed to be?
Yeah. Definitely.
So do you think that the claims that he was making that he was God were true, or do you think they were false?
Well, I think that his apostles made the claims, right? Like Saul and all that, right?
Yeah. And himself.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, I think I don't think that there's any like if you believe it, like you believe it. You know what I mean? I think everyone is entitled to believe what they believe. So I'm not going to take that away from anyone.
So we got a lot of responses from students that Jesus did exist, and a lot of them agreed and said that there was historical evidence, but they didn't really know what that was. And then we didn't get any who said that he didn't exist. Why are you laughing at me?
Somebody just dropped their lunch and it went everywhere. I'm sorry.
He got the coffee though. That's what matters.
It like went through the bottom of the bag. No. One trend that I noticed that's almost in every single episode is we had a lot of Christian students who, as they grew up, they encountered doubts and had questions, mostly whenever they came to college. Like one girl mentioned in her philosophy class about whether, not necessarily did Jesus exist, but whether Christianity is true. So that's one thing that we continuously see from episode to episode. So it's just great to talk to people and to let them know that we actually do have evidence for why we believe in Christianity.